any of you spiritual? Do you give your life over to a higher calling, higher purpose, higher power? I feel like I'm spiritual. What happened to my music? It might be one of those days where we just let nature be the sounds of our practice for our movement exploraciones. I add the plus for Tai Chi. Thoughts? Hal Jordan? Thoughts? Absolutely. Thoughts? Religion? Spirituality? Calling? Letting go of anxiety? Faith? Support? Love? Weather, hurricane, rain, water, sky, wind. What is this? Not coming together, but sure. Just elements and chemical reactions and systems and nature, cyclical, uh, cycle. Oh, there's a tree there. The whole tree is kind of like dark green, but there's this one bright, light green leaf in this big tree. Wow. I see fall. Even here, I see leaves changing color. This is a exploration of thought and words. But I guess that's what happens when I could go in there and try to fix it. But today is a hurricane day, so it's supposed to be a hurricane today. School's out apparently, but it's not supposed to come until tonight. It's a little overcast, a little rainy, a little breeze. Start with the being on the third floor. You see the world a little bit higher perspective. You see the top of the trees. We're at the top of the trees. The trees are a little bit higher, but you see the life that exists at the top. Birds, I see even some flying buggies up there. Let's start it up, Chris. Associations. Associations with thought, sound, words. I do that a lot. And I was talking about that in my dream log today, and how I memorize things through sound a lot. Other than memorizing through emotion, like say lines for a role in acting, I also memorize by sound. So sometimes I might get a word wrong. I think emotionally, it comes out correct, the intent, but then the word comes out incorrect. It might be a non-word that came out due to sound association and not meaning, and not the actual word. It's interesting, right? Yesterday's stream, I talked about how I have trouble with some of my content because my content has a lot to do with thinking out loud, and so a lot of times I have to do it when I think of it instead of doing it later. And I thought, oh, I could record it and then re-record it. I don't know about the re-recording, if that's happening, because I filmed 4 things yesterday and didn't release a single one of them, and then did not re-record any of them or edit them. So that's kind of defeating the purpose of my exploration of just doing it, because otherwise I might not do it. I can't do it if it, or rather, I'm not doing a lot of things if I ends up feeling like it's work, which is why I do what I have been doing, which is just turn that camera on. It doesn't matter what I look like, where I am, what I'm doing. That's going to be the exploration of that, creating the content that works for me. And then seeing how I can mold it and how I can adjust it and how I can work with it to find something that works for me, that would also work better otherwise, through adjustment and reassessment and all of that exploration. So far that's not working, in the sense that what I was talking about for yesterday is not working, to kind of think like, oh, maybe that'll be the first process and then I'll re-record. Initially I thought maybe that's the solution, but not for yesterday. It wasn't. I don't know, we'll see, right? Maybe it ends up being a solution, right? Because who wants to watch my content of me in bed, 4 different videos of me sitting in bed from the same day? I don't know, because honestly, I think so long as you have, talked about this yesterday too, as long as you have lighting and you have good sound, as long as you have those 2 things, what really matters is content. And if your content is good, I think that's fine. I just need to make sure that the mine is easy to consume or consumable, and not just me thinking out loud all the time, unless people can follow along. I'm concerned that my thinking out loud is not easy to digest. Continuing the exploration. This is like me going to therapy every morning. I wonder if anyone will ever watch these. Maybe if I become somebody one day, then they might look at these and be like, wow, look at this other life, this inner life of K.C'arl we never knew, that he shared with us when he was still alive. Fascinating thought. Or it may just not ever get anywhere, never go anywhere, and it was all just for me. For me. For me. Which is the key? For me. For you. You need to do for you. Right? Do for you. Do for you. Do for me. Yesterday's stream was weird. I think I was just kind of lazy and didn't want to do what I was doing. Like, I didn't want to do Tai Chi, is what I'm saying. I didn't want to do it. I was just kind of like lazy. I was just doing what I do. Doing what you do. Sun's coming out. Sun is coming out. It doesn't matter what I do. No one really cares. I wonder if there's like things that would violate you to policies that I would get even though no one watches my videos. I wonder if it extends that far, or if it has the bandwidth to just really monitor all of that so much that it doesn't even matter if you get views or not, or if it actually prioritizes those who do get views. I mean, I imagine it's like, computer and algorithm, so it, goes through everything, right? So that it would. I mean, that would be the way to do it. I mean, it is computer, so I would think it could handle it, right? There's definitely times where I feel like I want to talk about or do things that might not necessarily be appropriate. And I wonder, like, if I would be able to get away with it. I mean, there's one thing I'm definitely not going to do, but there are some other things. I don't know. Is there? I don't know that it's something that would flag. I mean, if anything, it wouldn't flag it to the point where, like, they would want me to remove it. It would be more like flag it and then no one would ever see it. You know what I mean? They would, like, push it down or something. But not, like, illegal, where they, you have to take it down. Algorithm. 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 I kind of want breakfast today. Will I get breakfast today? Sometimes I don't get breakfast unless Jason has breakfast sometimes. Like I said, if it were up to me, sometimes I might just have only one meal a day. Sometimes. My dinner last night, I didn't eat until 11, and that was me just trying to do it before Jason got back home from HHN. Because he was like, make sure you eat, don't wait until I get back home. And I was like, oh, I better try. I remember speaking more about this whole exercise of streaming and filming yourself even though no one was watching, kind of thing. I was kind of accused of, in acting class, like, oh, you only care when people are watching. And you know how sometimes when someone's watching, you do try harder. There, seems to be something there that kind of pushes you to be more presentable or better. And there's truth to that. I don't think I do it on purpose. Like as a criticism in class, what I don't. I would, I was slightly upset about that idea that, oh, I only try when someone watches. It's not so much that, I don't do it on purpose. I don't actively be like, no one's watching, so I'm gonna do it half-assed, or no one's watching, so I'm not gonna try to be good. But it helps when someone is watching to help push you. And so that's what this is doing, and hopefully it can build a practice of me mentally, where it becomes basically as if someone was watching me all the time, so that I can behave and perform and practice as if someone were watching me without needing to film, without needing someone to actually watch me to push myself. So, it's practice, right? It's a practice to get your mind to be there, right? Right? I don't know if I like that. Sometimes I don't normally watch my videos, but when you edit, you kind of see it, and I don't know that I like it when I'm like, right, as if I was talking to someone, and I don't like what it implies to me when I hear it. It sounds like I'm being self-important, like, right? Like you're supposed to agree. That's probably, it probably isn't true like that at all. That's definitely not the case, but when I hear it, I judge myself like that, I'm like, Carl, that's so self-important, right? Like they're supposed to agree with you. What am I talking about? Get back to movement. Get back to practice. Get back. It's like I end up exploring all my thoughts and with words when I'm supposed to be exploring movement. How is anyone supposed to consume this content that's labeled move with me when I'm just talking? Again, I think ideally I want to create content that is consumable, but for now it's all just such a wild west of exploration. Even though I labeled it different, it's not like anyone's watching it anyway and being like, oh, Carl, you're talking so much, it's supposed to be for movement. No one is watching. Well, no one was watching in the first place, so. But hopefully, down the line, I can make a much more, you know, distinct product, content, you know? Oh, I'm hungry. I am ready for breakfast. Hopefully I'll be able to make it through without passing out. Am I done the warming up the joints? I think I am. So I'm just gonna do a little Yo, I'm feeling like, I don't know. I'm feeling too hungry. Too hungry today. I was just thinking, I think it'd be fun to do a class in which I just lead or teach exploration, self-exploration, being fully self-expressed. That would be like an elective for the creative arts, for actors, for musicians, for writers, for artists, illustrators, painters, sculptors, hairdressers, woodworkers, metal workers, glass blowers, dancers, obviously. I think that would work. I just don't know that I'm having particular qualifications, but that's something that you can create by doing more. But I think that would be a fun class to have, to take myself and to lead and teach. I like that idea. I want to write it down. I'm sure I've thought of it before. I mean, I'm also, in a larger sense, working on a series of, well, I'm outlining a series of what could be a series of videos, it could be a book, but all about such exploration. Yeah. Yes. 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 I want to write down notes. I want to take notes right now. Let me hold that thought. This is what I always have trouble with. I feel like the need to write it down right now. The other day I had the same thing and I told myself I can do it afterwards. I won't forget. I won't forget. It's another practice for me now. Continue. Right. Left. Hip ups. Left. Right. Okay. Left. Right. It's kind of interesting. Bugs, like some bugs they don't like just walk around. They like scurry and like run around like crazy, like not in a straight line. They're just like running around back and forth like a crazy driver. Oh, breathe. 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 Feeling it today. It as in maybe it's the weather. It is like a little humid and I think because I'm hungry. Yeah, I think I'm hungry. It's making me feel kind of like hmm. I'm always feeling lazy, I guess. I guess that's what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm hungry and I feel like bleh. um oh, stretching. Let's do that. My stretching is very minimal. Consists of like two things. That's just a car. It's a loud ass car. A truck. Maybe it was a van. Like a Amazon van maybe? Prime van. Yeah. Definitely not the same. I'm not feeling the energy that I normally would have. I love the energy when I feel like when I'm out, like at the grocery store or at the mall. I just want to stretch and dance and move, and it's just nice, like freedom and life, being out in the world. This is the extent of me going outdoors and leaving home mostly every day, is going out on the patio. Sometimes me go for a walk, and then I might actually go out, maybe once a week, and that's the grocery store, which is why I like it so much. And I don't like shopping at all. Don't like shopping. Mm-mm. Being out is nice. Hmm. But I'm a homebody. I love being at home, so I'm not really complaining. But I'm just saying I do appreciate when I do go out, though. It can be nice, especially when it's nice weather, when it's not too hot. Like the nice AC of a grocery store, and being able to see all that food. What heaven to live in a space just surrounded by food. What? Normally there's one more stretch I do, which is, what do you call those? What are these? Hamstrings, I think? Hamstrings and, um, mm, quads? Yeah, quads? Quadriceps, I believe. I wonder if I could put, ooh, I don't know how safe this is, doing it on this. It's also leaning against glass, but I guess if I'm careful, it might be okay. Typically, I used to do something more difficult, and I guess got lazy. I used to do it standing up, but putting all my weight on one foot and one leg, and then I bend my knee, and then bend down and try to stretch like that, and it also strains my leg, so it's kind of like a workout a little bit. So it's harder to do, and then I ended up doing it on the ground because I didn't feel like doing it. And now I don't even want to go on the ground, at least not today. Sometimes I do the stretch while I'm brushing my teeth. Oh, knocking up against the glass. I feel like I stretch every day, but I'm not really getting any more flexible. I wonder how long it takes. Maybe I'm not stretching enough or deep enough. I mean, normally I try harder. Today is quite an exception. I am not trying very hard today. But it's just one of them days. And I just believe in not beating yourself up too much. Showing up is half the battle. My feet are dirty. My feet. My toes. Posture, K.C'arl, posture. You don't always need music to explore movement, but I like it. It helps. But when I'm really excited and energetic, I don't need music. But today, like I said, is a day. this could be my movement exercise right now. But let me listen. The exploration of movement is a combination of inner thoughts and your exterior environment. And well, for me today, it's definitely, I mean, normally also your thoughts and your feelings, the state of mind, state of your body. I want to add that to my notes too. Click clack. I hear a birdie. The balance. Squeaky. Like Martin Short. Do the Martin Short. I need food. Let's cook. Let's cook something up. Let's chop some vegetables first. I forgot to wash them. Let me wash this one first. I'll cut some bigger pieces in this one. I'm gonna exercise in imagination too, I guess. I don't want to cook anymore. No, I have so many notes I want to write down. It's killing me. I want to write down to have that whole journey series of videos, that it can also be, well, I already knew it could also be a book, but also that it could be like a class for so many different people who do different things, from dance to acting, from drawing to writing to cooking to hairdressing to whatever. Exploration of creativity, basically. And I also wanted to write down, oh, see, like I'm already forgetting. No! Oh, about movement exploration. That it can also, at first I wrote that it was, your inner thoughts and the exterior environment, but also it is your state of mind and your body state, right? And then, what was the third thing I thought of? Oh, and then exploration could also be an exploration of creativity. I mean, it always is. I guess it is by default, you know? Exploration of visualization, creativity, movement, thought, voice, sound, and words. I wanted to write that all down. Yesterday I thought the same thing, and I was like, oh, I'll talk about it here, and I'll look back and I'll write it down. I did not look back to write it down. I wonder if I will this time, since I have 3 things that I want to add to my notes. Because I don't know what you call it, but I have a need to be inclusive and fear of forgetting things and fear of not including things. And so I want to write it all down. My apologies for today's. Let's move on to my Tai Chi practice, which is Tai Chi Yang style 8 form. I should call these not just move with me and Tai Chi, it's really meandering move with me and Tai Chi, the past 2 ones at least. Of course, I feel the need to change the title of yesterday's and today's right now. Maybe the more I do this, the more, you know how I said I push myself if I think someone's watching? What if it's the complete opposite? What if practicing like this makes me forget that I'm being recorded, forget that I'm being watched? And will that affect how I perform, how I practice when there is someone watching? Or will it then affect me because someone actually is watching and this will lose its effectiveness? That's interesting. Because the other way it could go is that I'll practice so much like this that I'm always feeling like someone's watching. So that when someone does watch, I don't do it any different. Hopefully it's that I just do it better all the time. But then it could also be that I just don't do it better all the time. Unless I want to. That's interesting. I don't love that. Sometimes I do get lazy in my practice and I know someone's watching. But it's not real. No one's really watching. Because no one's going to watch these videos. Oh my god, K.C'arl. I just was so distracted, I think I messed up, and I'm repeating. Oh my god. Oh, I almost repeated. Just realized this is the one I was at. I almost went all the way back to wave hands like clouds. Again, all this serves as an exploration and an observation. When what this is actually doing to and for me in the long run. Is it defeating its purpose? Do I become lazier? Or is it just today? I just hope it's today. Document this. Again, more things I want to write down. I'm really going to want to watch this video over just to write down stuff. I want to write down that exploration of thought I just had. Definitely don't feel like pushing myself today. Like I feel like I probably really need to eat. That's right. It's gotta be. I just don't feel like I have the energy. Shoulders seem uneven. Why does this seem wrong to me? I don't know why. Because I'm not focused, that's why. So not focused. I really need to start practicing in a bigger space because I'm definitely practicing and getting into a habit of doing it like spatially incorrectly. I did one, I did two. it's important to constantly reassess as you're practicing, so you're, like if you're not thinking about a billion things and distracted like I am, that when you're practicing though, that you're reassessing as you go, being very self-aware. And then when you feel like you do it perfectly, maybe you don't. But since I'm practicing, I should be more self-aware. And once in a while, the practice is to see if I can just let it go and see where my body goes naturally from my practice. One more time and then the cool down. Normally the last time I try to go lower. I don't know about today. We'll see. Just talking out loud also provides some sort of accountability. It's like a promise, right? In a way. Are those love bugs? Is that a love bug? It looks weird. It looks like it could be a butt-to-butt creature. I want to change that someday. And also this. I don't know that I love the way this is being done right now. I say that every day. Run this at an angle. I made it. I did it. I did. I did go a little lower. Thank you. Shake it off. What makes you think? Are all the other times where I do the stretching and warm up and shaking it off and cool down, it's just all for show. It's not really doing anything. If all I'm doing is just this right now, right? What the hell? Is it all for show? As if I were teaching a class so that there'd be something to do? Like, would I do these things if I wasn't recording and no one's watching? I don't know. That's a really good question, because I won't be like acting as if I were presenting or teaching a class for show. I might do it a little. I mean, I guess that's where it comes from, but then I think the other half is also thinking about what I should be doing. Like this. Would I do this if I were alone? Normally, no. No, I wouldn't. But if it were a class, I would. I'd be like, alright, give yourself a massage. Lower, and then upper, and then your legs. Like this. Front, side, back. I don't think I would do that by myself, but for a class I would. What does that mean? What does that say? It says I'm tired. I don't know that I would do this either. That's the other thing I wanted to add in my notes about, in addition to filming, even though no one is watching, for accountability, talking to yourself is also like accountability, like making a promise if you say you're going to do something. And then also accountability to create a practice in which I do breathing exercises and the stretches and the warm-ups that I do when I'm being filmed. Hopefully when I'm not filmed, but to make sure I do it, I'm filming. Even though no one else is watching, this is actually more beneficial to me than anything, because then I end up doing those things that I might not do if I were doing it alone. I definitely want to go back in this video and write this stuff down. Now that's like, what, 5th or 6th thing? I probably don't even need to write it down. Continue. What I'll probably do is try to test myself and see if I can remember all 6 of those things and start writing as soon as I'm done. And then if I feel like I'm missing something, then go back in the video, because I feel like it's such a waste of time to go back into the video and try to find them. Time killer. Shouldn't have to do things twice. I'll also want to write down that in my evolution of doing this practice, I used to explain everything as if I were teaching because someone's watching, you know, and explain everything as I do it. But now, the more I do it, I realize, Carl, you're saying you're doing this for yourself, so continue doing it yourself. And so then I end up just not explaining everything that I'm doing as much. Let's lift each other up. Lift each other up. I love that message. I'm here.